slow and sweet. Pull me under, I can't compete. You're my midnight glow, my midnight glow. Lighting up the dark like nobody knows. Yeah. You're my midnight glow, my midnight glow. Can't escape your fire, it's pulling me close.
Tick loud in the chamber, pressure gets colder. Resla walks in, truth riding his shoulder. Here for the shift, tear the mask off pretenders. Beat drop, he's a fucking monster. Cuts through the noise, pulls the lies in the daylight. Every move calculated, every word's a fist fight. Building new codes, stacking bricks for the future. Turning midlife to gold, cut the chains like a suture. Keeps time as a weapon, each tick is a death note. Lights up the skyline, watch the whole city take note. Not chasing the fame, here to freeze what's molten. Break open the silence, keep the truth ice-coated. No clock to punch in, he's the one who dictates. Every second's a fuse, watch the skyline detonate.
What's good, y'all? What is good? Oh, man. Welcome to the show. I am sneaking in late night. Kind of want to get something off my thoughts of what I was going on for a while. Last time I was up there with you guys, we were kind of just doing things and we were having a little bit of a talk about situations when it comes to human behaviors and things that we're looking at. And we're still going to tackle some of that today, tonight, this evening. Welcome everybody who's already showing up to the platform, to the show. And if you haven't actually seen what the title is, give yourself a quick moment to actually do so, because I want to speak about learning how to die. Now, that can be so ambiguous, you don't really know what's going on. But I'll just have to ask you, like, you ever notice how you've been, you know what? No, let me just start the way how I actually thought about this. I've been thinking about this ever since I started doing this particular platform, this particular show and structure. What it even stands for, why would I actually be doing this, why I started doing this. Not the content, not the brand, but the why behind it. Before I really get off, let me just make sure you guys can actually hear me. Hold up. Okay, we can. We're good. And I keep coming back to this quote that stood out, and it really stood out to me last week. And it's from Bruce Lee. And it's that learn to die to win. For those who knows, you've actually seen that kind of Bruce Lee film, then you'll know which one I'm talking about, since he's had so many great ones. Now, for years, I didn't really get it. I've heard it sound real deep, sound really profound. But the way how I hear it now, it's a bit different. I understand it in so many different ways. You have to learn how to die. You have to learn how to accept the loss in order to actually understand how to win. Not die literally. I'm talking about to the ego, to the pride, to the version of you that thinks being right means everything. Because being right, be honest, is cheap. Anybody can argue their way into a corner and call it a conviction. Being effective, though, I think for a lot of people to approach things that way is rare. Because that takes killing off a part of you that wants validation more than actual results. And that's been my whole journey for those of you guys who have been here. cutting through the noise, the chaos, and even the debates, going through all the back and forths. I kept wondering if people even saw what I was trying to say, what I was trying to do, would they really still stick around? And I had to accept that maybe they don't. Maybe they're not supposed to. Because when you build something real in a place that you built, full of a lot of people that just want to see fake things, then you've already chosen the hard way. You've already chosen the difficult path. You already started learning how to die. Before I get any more into this, I want to thank everybody who's also showed up already here in the stream. So thank you very much, guys. See, Dominica was already in here. Miss Raven is in here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Peace Dynamo is in the building as well. Hey, Just Becca rolled up. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for actually showing up. And for those sitting back, lurking, or jumping in and out because you want to see what? I don't know. Probably a panel. At this time of night, I'm pretty sure your other famous panelist hosts are already doing their own thing. True Keys, what is going on? Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. Wait, why is stream elements coming up? This is what we're going to do. We're going to remove you. That was wild. Get out of here. I might have to cook through this one because I know I've been thinking a bit about this one. And I'm going to try to touch on as many points as I can. So the first thing I want to go through is talk about this, the death of people who are performing. And we see lots of people like that, right? Oh, I'm like all over my own damn place. It's a little bit straight. Wait, what is that? What am I hearing? I can't believe this. Hold on one moment, folks. Something fell in the bathroom. I was like, what the hell is that noise? That was crazy. All right. What was I saying? Oh, we were talking about the performance, right? And to me, it's wild. It's wild when you realize that most people who are online, for the most part, especially in the areas that we've been seeing, that we've been fluctuating around, that they're acting. They are performers, not because that they're bad people. I won't say that, but because they believe that performance is the only way to survive now. That is their only form of survival. And I'm just like, that's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to look at it that way, but there are people who are actually thinking this on a regular basis. If I'm going to be online, if I'm going to be doing these things, I need to perform. And I'm thinking, you don't really need to do that. What's so bad about yourself that you feel like you need to try to be someone else? Why? Everybody is showing curated versions of themselves. They are editing their own sentence structures in real time. By the way, I do that. I can't let everybody know the first thing's going on in my mind. I sound like a freaking idiot. But a lot of people are making sure that every reaction plays well because they're all kind of doing their own thing for an algorithm. And like I said, I did it too. I've done it too. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't. At first, you're telling yourself you're just adapting to the climate that's happening. You say, This is how you grow. I've heard so many people try to tell me that. But what you're really doing is you're trading a piece of your own self, your own honesty for applause. And those little trades, they add up. This is why I pulled back from so much stuff. Because if you don't, before long, you start bending your tone. You start exaggerating your reactions. You start chasing micro hits for the sake of engagement. And before you know it, you're performing for people who don't even clap. You start waking up every day rehearsing instead of actually just living. You start saying things louder, not because you mean them more, but because you're afraid that silence might make you irrelevant. It hit me. If you are authentic, if your authenticity can't breathe in a room that you're in, to me, you're already dying. And that's the kind of death nobody mourns. The slow one. The one that it looks like success, but it feels like suffocation. Lord knows I've had conversations with people until I'm like, I am here. I can even have all eyes on me, and I feel like I am suffocating in real time. Because your numbers go up while your soul goes missing. I had to confront that. I had to watch my own performance like it was an autopsy. Every exaggerated take, every forced reaction, I saw the desperation under it. The need to stay visible, the fear of disappearing if I just told the truth quietly. We all want to live forever online, but half of us are already digital ghosts, if you ask me, scrolling through the versions of ourselves that we don't even recognize. So I started stripping now that shit away, little by little. I stopped chasing the clips. I stopped trying to be the loudest one in the room. I silenced that kind of shit, that kind of following, because it was uncomfortable. But when I did it, it also felt clean. You cannot outperform emptiness, but you can learn to outgrow it. I know that sounded kind of wild. Let me say it again for you. You cannot outperform emptiness. However, you can learn to outgrow it. And that's the real truth of the death of a performer. Realizing that the show doesn't end when you stop acting. It ends when you finally start living. I know I'm saying a bunch right now. But if you're listening, if you're thinking about it, you'll catch on. Hey, peace, you're right. I had a ghost. Probably the ghost of one trying to stop me from saying what I need to say. Locksmith is in the building. What's going on? I want to talk about misplacing your greatness. Whether you've had it or you have it. Because not everybody starts off understanding what their greatness is. Right? No matter how good, let me just say this, because this is what really clicked on me to really want to come up with this part. No matter how good you are, how nice you are, how kind you are, how consistent, how loyal, how caring, if you are in the wrong place, you will never be appreciated. Let that sink in for a moment. This is one of the hardest truths that I've had to learn to acknowledge. Because we all grew up thinking talent rises, right? You do good, good things happen. You love hard, love comes back. But that's not how it works. You can do everything right and still be ignored. You can do all the right things and still lose. You can show up, put your heart into it, keep it solid, and you can still end up in a situation where it's not enough. Because the soil was never meant for you. And here's the part that stings. Sometimes the wrong place isn't even toxic. Let me say it again. Sometimes the wrong place is not even toxic. It's just small. It's too small for who you are becoming. You outgrew the room, but the room didn't grow with you. Think about your family. Think about some of your friends. Think about places that you work. Think about your neighborhood. And you keep trying to shrink yourself back down so that you can fit within it. To me, that's death in disguise. I've been there. I have stayed in circles out of loyalty, in jobs out of fear, in dynamics out of guilt. I've told myself, maybe if I work harder, they'll see me. But the truth is, they can't. Because people only recognize what they understand. And not everyone is built to understand you. Putting it simply, folks, you could be a diamond, but if you are surrounded by people who only value glass, you will spend your life explaining your shine to the blind. That's a gem for you. No matter how good you are, again, how nice, how caring, if you are in the wrong place, you will not be valued. You will not be appreciated. As the saying goes, because the soil doesn't care how good the seed is. If the seed is planted in concrete, it'll never grow. And that realization hurts because it forces you to admit that maybe, just maybe, the crowd that you wanted applause from wasn't your audience. In fact, they were your lesson. Folks, leaving is not quitting. Leaving is pruning. And some people are not ready for it. It's not quitting. And pruning is how things go back to being stronger, like a good bonsai. That's just simply the way it is. Does it seem like that for everybody? No. Some people are in better positions. Others are not. You're going to have to figure out where you are, what's working out for you, and should it be better? Not can it be better. Should it be better? I'm hearing something else moving, I swear. Let me check that out. Let me check that out. It's going crazy. I'm driving myself nuts. Let me check it out. Okay. All right. So it's my shower thing. It fell. Things were like slowly falling off of it, and then I literally walking that so it was like at the end. Little shower caddy thing that I got sit upside our wall. That was weird. Okay, what was I saying? I was talking about like I was thinking trees, bonsais, pruning, pruning. Sometimes you have to prune things in order for them to come back, to be stronger. Yes, that's what I was getting at. So if you're still, I'll say this, and I'll relate it to some of you guys. If you're still sitting somewhere, if you're still sitting somewhere that doesn't feel like you're growing in, somewhere that doesn't feel like you're getting nurtured, doesn't water you, I want you to ask yourself a particular question. Are you staying there out of love, or are you staying there out of habit? Because habits can kill faster than hate. Sometimes the lesson is not about who failed you. It's about it's about where you keep, or where you've kept showing up when the message is already there and already clear. When we talk about you see the signs and yet you still keep showing up there. You know things are bad, but you keep yourself there regardless. The truth is, there is no reward for loyalty in a place that refuses to see your worth. Staying there does not make you noble. It does make you forgotten. So yeah, misplaced greatness is real. And if you do not realize it in time, you will end up protecting the very environment that you claim is suffocating you. I've been through it. Leave. Start over. Grow where you've actually seen growth. What do you guys think so far? No, the noise was happening in my bathroom. That's where the noise was. NPCs and you hit, agreed. I agree. Comfort is a real killer. Here's the thing I'm going to have to cover for you. There are plenty of things in life that you can do that are easy. What do I mean by when I say easy? Meaning things that you can do. Easy does not mean simple. And when we talk about luxuries, we place ourselves in positions where we turn around and get trapped out of comfort. These are why so many people get caught in jobs that they know they should have left a long time ago. It's not a luxury that they're still there. A lot of people keep themselves trapped out of convenience. This is not about something being easy. And guess what? If you can do it, if you are capable of doing, if it's something within your skill set, it is easy. Doesn't mean it's simple. And a lot of people will think that it's supposed to be simple because it's easy. Meaning something you can do. You might have to work at it. But if you believe that you can accomplish it, it is easy. I think a lot of people believe that things are supposed to just fall on their fucking laps. That's not realistic at all. If you want to learn a skill, you're going to have to work at it. It's not going to just fall in your lap. Is it easy to learn the skill? Yes, if you know where to go, what books to pick up, when you can have time to study. Is it simple? No. A lot of people really misplace effort. I hear when you're saying what you've been in, but you don't count for everyone. And if you're saying that you're so trapped, then you need to be reevaluating your own position. Because if you tell yourself that you're trapped, you will be there. What did Confucius say? He who says he can't and he who says he can are both usually right. Well, you say happiness. Who said that we're here to be happy? Happiness is not guaranteed for anyone. No one. No one is guaranteed happiness. No one. Everyone must work at it. And even that is a temporary measure. Most people actually go through way more struggling before they even find their little bouts of happiness. No one is continuously happy. And a lot of people get into their way because of ego. Their own expectations can actually bury a person. So let's talk about burying some of those egos. Let's call it a funeral. And this is why we're talking about learning how to die. Learning how to die in order to win. Because when it comes to learning how to die, learning how to hold your own funeral is important. Let me say that again. Learning how to hold your own funeral is important. And not a sad one either. Doesn't need to be tears involved. They don't need to be violins. There doesn't need to be a fat chick in the background singing opera. I mean, the quiet kind. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be ostentatious. The one where you sit with yourself and you just have to admit, yeah, that version of me, I gotta let it go. Because the ego doesn't just die because you want it to. It will fight back. It will fight to keep its own life back. It will negotiate. It will whisper. It will tell you, you're just taking a break. It will wait in a corner for a new excuse to come back. It is patient. It is clever. And most of all, it knows your voice. That's the part that people don't want to talk about. Ego death feels like a breakup with yourself. You start missing versions of yourself, versions of who you were, versions of you that always clapped back, that always was there to defend your name. You miss the chaos because silence feels like a punishment. But it's not punishment. It's not punishment. That is peace trying to reintroduce itself to you. When I started to let go of that version of me, I realized how much of my life was performative, was a production, was there out of protection. Every argument, every rebuttal, every reaction, everything that I had to make to me when the situation is not just about me. It's not just about what I see and what I feel and what my experience is. It wasn't really about even standing on principle. It was all about control. It was about not wanting to look weak. But every time that you defend your pride, you lose a little bit of purpose. And that's why I started hosting funerals in my own head for my prideful self, for my defensive self, for the prove it to them side of me. And none of those funerals were glamorous. They were quiet. They were awkward. They were emotional. They were necessary. Folks, the ego doesn't die. It bargains with you. It tells you that you're just resting. And you know what it's doing? It's sharpening itself. It's sharpening its excuses that you're going to make next time so it can take over. It is like the devil on your shoulder. It is like having a schizophrenic personality in your head. When you get weak and there's something that you feel like you can't do, it takes over. And you have to be strong enough to say, you cannot have control over the wheel again. And it will always be waiting for an opportunity. I used to think that silence meant losing. And then I had to learn just how much that silence means that you're graduating. To me, it means that I don't owe the world an explanation every time I grow past something. If the world does not owe me understanding, I damn for sure don't owe the next person something. I damn for sure don't owe the next person an explanation as to why I need to do what I need to do. And listen, this part of it, this part of the process, it's lonely. People are not going to be able to teach you this. Because the world only celebrates reinventions once it looks good. Nobody claps when you're dismantling your entire identity piece by piece. Nobody celebrates your stillness. But that's when the transformation is real. When nobody's watching you. And you still decide to still bury that old version of you anyway. That's the real ego funeral. And when you walk away from it, you don't feel triumphant. You don't feel like it was a victory. In fact, you may feel empty because there's a part of you that's missing. But that emptiness, that's where the new version of you, it gets built. I've buried many parts of myself, but I can tell you some of the pieces of me that were built out of that have been way better for me, for my success, for my thought process, for my understanding of other people and situations. How many of you are still holding on to past selves, to parts of yourself that you know you need to get rid of, that you know should have gone away, that you know are not benefiting you? Because you don't think that you're authentic if you don't keep it. Be honest with yourself. Someone right now, America's excellence, you're struggling right now. You are hammering hard because your ego right now. Your ego, your pride in trying to so-called educate and correct me is the thing that you're doing right now. And you're typing hard. I'm not surprised that you're a stream leader right now. Yeah, you're number 2, and you came in late to this. Your ego is also at play right now. You've been typing hard because you want to disagree so badly. You should think about that for a moment. Folks, we talked about patterns and behaviors. I would rather be effective rather than to be right. You were. You were correcting me by even just talking about yourself when this is not about you. You can't possibly be listening if you're too busy trying to talk, even if it's in typing. Are we speaking about religion? You're bringing in conversation and topics and narratives that were not expressed. Now you're bringing in religion, philosophies. I didn't care about whether they believe that the ego is real or not, but you feel the need to drag that in because you're not listening to understand. You're trying to add shit in. You're not actually listening. You just have something to say. So you're here to educate. Is that that's what I'm coming to understand. You're here to educate us. Though, even though no one was really asking, you felt the need to educate. You have an ego. That's what you've been doing and spamming so hard. Do you really need that much attention? And the fact that you felt the need to take it upon yourself to educate just tells us where you are. If you really want to educate, you can start a stream and just educate people. I don't remember anyone said about anything being uniquely American. See how you just throw out other stuff, throw out other narratives? I don't remember saying anything about anything being American. If you had take the time to listen to understand, you would know that. But you just felt it upon yourself to just talk and make up whatever and start educating people when it wasn't even important because you missed the entire message. These are the things. People are obsessed with themselves, obsessed with trying to be the smartest person in the room. No, you didn't need to highlight it. You didn't need to. You feel the need to be highlighted because you need to feel important. You need to feel right. If you know I didn't, there was no reason to say it. It's really simple. It wasn't necessary. What was it in turn to what I was saying? Or do you want to talk about philosophies? You want to talk about Plato? You want to talk about, but what was I saying? Or are you just going to mention everything that you can regurgitate off of egos? What was I saying? I just even gave some gems in here. What was I saying? Since you know so much, what was I saying? What was I specifically saying? I'll give you a moment. What was I specifically saying? That was literally one part. What was I saying? Can you connect everything as to what I was saying? Because I literally just went through 3 different segments. Or did you just come in, heard the word ego, and decided to go spitting everywhere? Based on, he's wrong. I need to let him know about egos. This is what I... No, nothing. Did I say, you said people get stuck in situations? Sure. Do people not get stuck in situations? Do people not get stuck in situations? I'm giving you what you wanted because you wanted all this attention. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a time with it. Because you just pretty much swamped my entire chat. Everybody was talking. Now I just see you. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time. Because everybody else just had to go silent because you were just ransacking the chat. Come on, Locksmith. Sure. Tell me where I talked about religion, though. How is religion part of the conversation that we're having? Because if you already know anything about me, and you should already, you know that I don't get into religious conversations. I didn't use any historical context. Oh, sorry. Minus Confucius. But that was really in response to what you were doing, what you were talking about. Outside of that, I don't know why we're diving into history. I don't know why we're diving into religion, because these are not the things that were part of my conversation. I'm happy that you're saying these are fairly new things in ideas in our current society. But since they exist, how does it not take away from the point of what I'm making? Unless you just want to say, I just want to just talk about how your point is not a point. I mean, does it really matter that you don't care that the ego exists or not? You know that there are other people are. It's not just about you. I mean, just let's just talk about the medicine in the candy. Nah, he mentions death doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure you haven't walked by a graveyard then. Yes, I do. I'm sorry that he's shutting down the entire chat, guys. I know you guys were talking, you were making points, Becca, and everything. I get it. It's a lot right now, but they need their time in the sun. Only only one. Only one that actually is pronounced, and therefore it's religious, which I didn't bring any religion into it. But I'm keen that you want to bring religion into it. I love how you're making the conversation about you and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Because I'm going to continue. I just need you to get your shit off because it's not getting anywhere. What makes you think that you can interrogate me, that I am required to answer you when you came over here and you pretty much fucked everything up for the entire chat? He can't even read the room. He came in, bombarded the entire chat, and then feels like I need to answer him. Ruined it for so many people in here. Since I'm very much aware that it's not just about me, I'm looking at you guys, how you were engaging, things that you're talking about, and then all of a sudden just got washed away. No, it's your topic. You're talking about different stuff. You make it seem like you're doing my show right now. What's good, Grandmas? How you been? My family's good. Now we're talking about the soul. Guys, don't worry, but just look at them. People were actually engaging and talking until this started happening. Because they just needed attention. Hopefully everything is good with you and your family, criminals. Having my attention was more important than the actual conversation that we were having. It doesn't matter whether I do or don't, you're going to have a rebuttal for it. Patterns are patterns. People are not difficult to figure out. All you need is time. Grandma's, the question was not about, never mind. Because you're joining in on a conversation that he's having with himself. No one mentioned the words only for ego. No one talked about death. No one talked about the soul and religion. No one did any of this stuff. It's only one person. No one talked about different philosophers. I trust me, I ain't bring up no military strategist. None of that bullshit. You guys are walking in on a conversation that's being started up by one person. The conversation is not about what I'm having. because they have not listened. They have only preached about their thoughts and their sense of shit. Everybody here was literally engaging in it. This person was the only person that's engaging outside of it. It may be related to philosophy, but it wasn't. Philosophy was not related to what I was talking about. That's how I know you just fucked up everything. Because you weren't listening to understand. You were hearing to rebut. So all you did, you were just hearing to rebut. You just wanted to get your shit off. You weren't listening at all. You heard the word ego. You got your dick hard and you started typing hard in the chat. No, that's too easy. That's too easy for them, Locksmith. Because they can't see themselves doing it. All right. We had enough of that. Let's go into the aspect of we're talking about fairness, right? Drag fairness into your ego thing too. And religion and philosophy and whatever the fuck else. And fucking grave digging or whatever the hell else. I think we live in a world that preaches that fairness is like the gospel. But I believe that it profits off of imbalances. Imbalances like infrastructures. Let me ask you this, folks. When is the last time that you saw something fair as an adult? When was the last time you saw something fair as an adult? Think about it. Jobs, relationships, the system, even the algorithm decides who gets seen and who does not. Nothing is fair. It's all engineered to keep people chasing balance that was never promised from the beginning. That's the game. You are told to work hard, to wait your turn, to be patient. Meanwhile, the clock keeps ticking. It just keeps ticking. And the same hands are the same ones getting paid. The system isn't broken, though, because it's built to be that way. And yet, people still hold on to this emotional fairy tale that fairness is coming. Like it's somehow a late package that got stuck in transit. It's not. It is not coming. It never left the warehouse. Nothing is fair. Fairness is not missing. Fairness is managed. It is distributed in doses. It is just enough to keep you believing that your turn is next. And that's why chaos, especially when it comes to trends, tends to be the thing that picks up. Patience does not. Look around you. The news, the timelines, the conversations, they all sell us outrage as equality. They feed you conflict and they call it balance. Because anger is the only energy that they can tax infinitely. Think about that for a moment. Fairness isn't gone, it's monetized. It's been packaged as a feeling and not a fact. It is packaged as feelings, not as a fact. And that's why people cling so hard to being right. Because being right is the last form of control left within fairness. But fairness has already been sold to the highest bidder. People don't fight for truth anymore. They fight for proof. They fight to prove that they matter, that their opinions count, that someone out there hears them. But here's the catch. Being right changes nothing. Being effective does, though. Because rightness doesn't move the needle. It just moves your blood pressure. Effectiveness builds outcomes. We have confused attention with achievement. We have mistaken exposure for influence. And in that confusion, fairness became entertainment. A conversation loop designed to burn time while the world cashes out on your frustration. They told you that life was fair, but only if you can afford the entry fee. So I stopped cashing fairness. I stopped chasing fairness. The only thing I started chasing now, clarity. Because clarity will tell you how the game actually works. And once you actually see it, you can stop begging for balance. And you can start building shit with your own weight. Oh, there are plenty of people that believe that fairness exists. It does not. The world does not owe you understanding. And if the world does not owe you understanding, society won't either. In that quote from Bruce Lee, he also says, you should bite. You should learn the way to die. Dying so you can live. Learning how to die isn't about giving up, but rather it's about letting go. Letting go of what no longer serves you to where you need to go, where you're trying to get to. Letting go of what drains your focus so that you can learn to confess and you can actually build on your peace. It's not some spiritual buzzword. Rather, it's self-respect. And if anything, self-respect with teeth. I stopped chasing what you guys actually love. These panels. I stopped reacting to chaos. I just call out shit when I see it. I stopped letting people trick me into arguments that didn't feed the mission. Because I believe every time I have to explain myself to people who don't even care, I was resurrecting, to use some words, resurrecting a version of myself that is supposed to stay dead. Yes, I'm choosing my words. And that's what a lot of people do not understand. Death in this sense isn't an ending. It's a boundary. It's drawing a line between who you were and who you're finally becoming. Because who you are to be, you are now becoming. You can't build a new life while protecting the ruins of an old one. It's like trying to remodel a house while refusing to clear out the debris. At some point, you have to stop polishing the wreckage. And that's what this whole process has been for me. Burying away with the things that are unnecessary. Burying away the guilt, the need to explain, the fear of being misunderstood. Because once you stop needing everyone to understand, you finally start to understand yourself. You cannot heal in the same environment that kept you from your brokenness in the first place. You cannot heal in the same environment that kept you where you were, just so you can be relatable. And for me, that one cut deep, because I think we've all done it. We stay close to the very things that kill us emotionally, because that makes us feel known. But comfort doesn't equal belonging. And silence doesn't mean peace. It just means you stop fighting back. So yeah, learning how to die can mean learning when to walk away from a version of you that survives on permission. That version that wants applause more than actual alignment. Because it costs you. It costs you attention. It costs you connections. It costs the illusion of community. That community that was always just shared misery. But what it gives you, I would say clarity. And clarity, that's the real currency. That's the real currency for peace. So when I say learn how to die, I'm not being poetic. I'm telling you that you should clean your house. You should consider burying the parts of yourself that can't take you anywhere that you're trying to head. Because if you don't, they're just going to pull you back every time. And that is the price of evolving. Losing what doesn't need to be there anymore. Losing what you don't even respect. Paying that price for it. But once you pay it, you'll realize that you didn't lose anything worth keeping. If you don't understand what it takes, if you don't understand what you need to do that will help you get to the next level, you really never knew yourself or the path that you were on. If you don't understand the benefit of needing to change, of needing to reinvent, of needing to evolve, to get what you're looking for, you don't understand yourself. You are coasting and letting the world decide things for you. You're not deciding things for yourself. knowing what needs to be done, doing those things, and experiencing the outcome from those things in your favor, what you actually wanted. Because it's only the silly ass people that do the same thing and expect different results. What was it all for? Not for nothing. If you have been watching me this long, and most of you, not some of you, have already come in a little late, but if you have been watching me this long, and you still think that this was just for entertainment, I think you've missed the entire message. This was never about clout. It was never about just content. This was about consciousness. When I built this platform, I did it to help people think again, because I can go around so many spaces and see that people don't do that. They coast. They let other people feed them things without helping them. This is why I say I always consider the viewer, especially when I'm having conversations with other people, to question the patterns that keep people numb, to remind them that it's okay to change, that it is okay to evolve, especially out loud. Sometimes we have to say the tough things, the hard things, the difficult things out loud. It is okay to leave the wrong crowd, even if it means it's going to put you in a place where you will be left alone. I know a lot of people like entertainment and everything else that comes along with it, but I've said this from before. If you can take the things that are being said and you can apply them to your life, you'll have to also understand that I was never here to be your entertainment. Not everybody, you can find a conversation entertainment. That doesn't mean that you have to like me. I am not here to be a clown. I am not here to be a gimmick. I am not here to make you laugh through your apathy. Can I be entertaining? Sure. But I'm no comedian. I'm no entertainer. I'm here to help you see, because if you still don't see the message after all this time, then all of this was a waste. Not just for me, but also for you. But if you do see it, I would say that you should keep learning how to die, because that's the only way that you'll ever truly live. That's my thoughts. I won't go any longer than that. That's my thoughts. Yeah, people don't always look at content to educate. A lot of them think this is all about entertainment. Again, people who want to be right rather than to be effective is what I continuously see in these spaces. People who will argue the point of men that they can never question themselves because these men are long gone. People who are afraid to look at themselves because they are too busy trying to look at other people, judge other people, when all they should be worried about is self-reflection, introspection, more interested in pointing fingers at other people and not doing an audit of themselves. This is what we've come to see. This has become the new norm. And it's amplified due to social media. All I get to see on these panels now are people who just all want to talk about how they believe that they're right. This is why, Josh, I say things like, I don't want to talk about religion. Because you know why? None of you will know until you're dead. What's the point of talking about politics? It's always going to change, and you're always going to find someone that you're going to disagree with. There are no utopias. To live is to suffer. That doesn't mean you need to be in pain. This is why I don't want to talk about relationship content, because guess what? Relationships will always be there so long as people need to procreate. It's worthless. Pick what works for you. If it works for you, damn what everybody else that they go through. It's not your problem. If you found yours and it works, who gives a fuck what anybody else has to say? Let's be honest. A lot of people have these relationship arguments because they're comparing. And I especially don't understand people who are comparing, who are single, comparing against people who have relationships. You should just say, do you? More people, thank you for saying that, Dom. More people are there, just there to talk about their dogma. That's all. I can't tell you how many times I have been on a platform and someone who does not know me, probably never heard anything I have to say, felt the need to compare and even compete with a stranger. It's one thing if we were competing for something at the top. You don't even know what I am aiming for, and you feel the need to compete. It's amazing to me. It's not even it's not even getting into a race for enlightenment. It's a race to the bottom. Why would I want to engage with someone who wants to be in the gutter? Doesn't make sense. This is why when you guys ask questions like, Resla, why you don't get on panels no more? Because what I end up seeing is a race to the bottom. Not in good faith, looking for a reason to just throw ad homs, to be disingenuous, and most of all, to garner attention. I'm not looking to prove myself to people. That's not important to me. It might be important to you, not important to me. Most of these people don't network. They just compete. And they're competing for what? Who is the top of what? If you don't learn to collaborate, you will be fighting for scraps. You'll be fighting for scraps. It's only the people that learn to collaborate are the ones that actually do better in the long run. Most people, I would even just say, not even most, but some people, they're probably cool with each other, but that's about the end of it. They found symmetry or a particular relationship, but they can say, we're good. But how long does it last? And let's be honest, as much as people want to talk about that, they want to discuss and share ideals what I tend to see overwhelmingly is that people just want to talk about people. And typically, when I try to talk about people, I try to bring up their behavior. Because their behavior is a small piece of what so many people do. Online, at your job, when you're offline in your real life, when you're out in the streets, when you're sitting in your favorite restaurant, your own family members, might be even your spouse. So many people believe that if they all exhibit the same behavior, they'll all get the same results. When the truth of the matter is that there's an oversaturation because you're all doing the same thing. Then you wonder why no one can even get to the top. And if you're all fighting each other for the same viewers, for the same people, for the same topics, who's going anywhere? Especially when you guys are saying it doesn't even pay to be authentic. When you all talk about the same things and do the same things and behave the same way. Different voice, different icon, same general premise. There's an oversaturation because people don't dare to be different. Let me say that again. People do not dare to be different. It takes work to not be like everyone else. But it is also easier to get attacked because other people are not with you. It's a lonely road. I say you should think for yourself, but you should also question and side-eye everyone you listen to, yours included. I say this all the time. But most people want to hear crash outs and shit that doesn't make any logical sense because they hear curse words, like kids. When a kid hears a curse word, knowing that they can't say a curse word, it's exciting. But what was the message? You stupid, you stupid, you don't know shit, you don't know shit. And that's pretty much the end of it. What was the conversation even about? I don't know. I lost track of it after they just started attacking each other. And it becomes very difficult to maintain this kind of stuff. To maintain an actual, not even civil, just actual discussions. Some people are decent at it. Most people won't last long. And let's be honest, within all the things that I say with those people, most people, they want to believe that they are the ones that they are special. It's already been shown through stats that people are mostly the same. But everyone is dying to be special. Which means that if people are mostly the same, it's easy to be caught up in a hive mind, to want to fit in. But let's be honest, the ones that help shape the world are not those who are fitting in. They're the ones who dare to do something different. That's why people like to celebrate some of our biggest entrepreneurs, our inventors, because they dared to do something different. They didn't just follow what everybody else already did. Even though later on, you pretty much demonize them for doing the thing that they were doing. How dare you be different? How dare you become successful off of being different? It's amazing to me. But who's to say that they were supposed to be liked? I think they're okay wherever they are, because at the end of the day, they had a purpose, and it's fulfilling the needs of other people. And that's what matters. Most people can't see it. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. And you have a shit ton of Amazon Prime packages coming into your door. Amazing to me. I hate Elon Musk. And you drive a Tesla. Amazing to me. Simply amazing. This is not about being a hypocrite. Plenty of people are hypocrites. You're allowed to be a hypocrite. Even though the internet will try to tell you, not even the internet, just people. People. Because of documentation, people will try to say that you can't change. And I say, fuck you for thinking that you can tell me I can't. Go get kicked by a horse and die. Fuck you for trying to tell me that I can't change. Watch me. And watch me not give a fuck about what you think you can hold me to. Anyone that feels like you want to change, feel free to go change. Not for them. Not to impress anybody. Not to do anything for anybody else. Do it for yourself. That's what's most important. If you're going to change, if you're going to make changes, do it for the reason that really matter. Do it for yourself. Do it because it benefits you. By you being who you need to be, other people will benefit from it. But if you do it for them, you're going to find yourself in a shit ton of trouble. Because you're going to find that 9 times out of 10, they really don't care. They might even be in your way. They will try to stop your greatness, even though they will benefit from it. So I'm doing it for you, and they will try to stop you. People are not wise. They have fallacies. They make plenty of mistakes like anyone else. Even that we already know people are self-destructive. Can't help everybody from doing so. And a lot of people, to be honest with you, we don't know what we don't know. And we can even hear the information. That doesn't mean that everyone understands. Because people want to believe only what they want to believe. What does one do about that? Except say, it's on you. Hey, I tried. I'm not doing it no more. I'm done. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to go to, I'm pretty sure people are live. We're close to the weekend. So I guess I will leave it to you so I can spend my time working on my content, getting some stuff ready for whatever. Because I'm not going to stay up doing things that I just not really going to be any beneficial. And I damn for sure am not opening up a panel for people to just totally move away from anything that doesn't need to be there. So I will see you guys on the next one, and just be aware of that notification. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and see you next time.